Hi there, this is Tarun Gill from Tarun Gill Fitness, helping all of you with your fitness queries. So, what I do at this channel is I try to answer all your queries regarding fitness, supplements, diet, anything and everything on fitness. So, you can call me your fitness go-to guy. So I may not have all the answers at times, but I can help you find those answers. So we can together find the answers, because even doctors don't know pretty much everything. They also have to consult others, right? So having said that, let's take the question for today, which has come to me from Reena. So Reena posted this question a couple of weeks back, but obviously due to my backlog of too many questions, I couldn't answer. So here's and Reena has been following my Facebook channel very closely. So thank you, Reena. So let me just read out your question. She says, "Hi Tarun, I regularly follow your posts and videos. They are really very helpful. I had a query. I've had lower back pain since past 8 years now. I do work out in the gym. I do a lot of weight training as well as cardio. My back hasn't become worse, nor it has it cured. I do squats with weights and also leg press, leg curls with weights. Is it okay to continue these exercises?" Wow, Reena, I really appreciate what you're doing. Usually I've seen people, the moment they get injured or they feel anything, it could be their back or it could be their neck, they usually stop, because that's what everybody would tell you to stop. It's a wise decision, but there are others, who refuse to give up, and you're one of them. And actually, it's a good thing. So, because most of the injuries, if you were to look at them, they don't hit you physically, but they hit you mentally. And considering you've had this back problem, I really don't know the intensity of your back problem, because if it hasn't bothered you, I don't know how badly it's bothering you. I think if it was bothering you, you would not be able to do these squats with weights and leg curls and all the other exercises which are really heavy on back. So kudos to that. So to your question, is it okay to continue these exercises? Well, I got some few pointers for you. So let's see what are those pointers. So pointer number one, you have to take care of your back, no matter what, Rina. So think of your back as your backbone. It's obviously that's why it's called backbone. Uh, it's the cornerstone of your body after legs. So you really have to take care of it really closely. A thumb rule which I follow and which I tell everyone is, whenever hurts, just stop. While doing these exercises, though you've been doing this for almost 8 years now, it hasn't bothering you. Obviously, so till the time you can continue do with it. But what you can do occasionally is you can obviously take some physio help. You can take some back massage. You can probably take some rest about a week or so and see how it recovers. Because usually the idea is like, I'm a believer that if there's a problem with something, if you keep it mobile, if you keep it working, the problem doesn't get aggravated. But the problem comes in if you were to stop, especially when it comes to back, especially when it comes to neck and joints. But there are certain problems which demand certain amount of rest. You can only recover if you rest, and that depends on the kind of level of injury. So I leave that to you to decide. So my humble request to you is, so if you find yourself in a position where your back starts really hurting you, I would advise you to rest. But if it's not hurting, probably you can continue with it. The other thing that you really have to be very careful of is the posture. Now, these are some of the postures that I'm sure, I don't want to give you a whole lowdown on what is the correct posture, but for a person who knows whose back is sensitive, you know that your back is sensitive. So I would urge you not to do heavy squats. I would urge you not to do exercises which are heavy, which are intensive, very heavy weight intensive on your back, when you already know that you can actually trigger that point where your back will start hurting. Why to unnecessarily go down that road? So, and that's an indication. So my again suggestion to you is, stop doing heavy weights, but keep doing weights, keep your back mobile, but don't do heavy. Don't push it to a limit where it begins to give up. And obviously posture holds the key. This is the posture that you may want to maintain. Another thing that you would want to maintain for yourself is the weight. Most of the back problems, 60 to 70% of the back problems are related to weight gain. So I don't know if you've had a history of weight gain in 8 years ago, where you fat and then you try to cut your fat down. I really don't know. Probably you didn't talk about it, but that's okay. So I would urge you, uh, maintain your weight. If not, you can probably bring it down also, because the lighter you get, the better it'll be for your back, because back and legs are the cornerstones, as I said earlier. They're the ones who are taking the load of your body. So the lighter the load, the better they work. So it's a simple thumb rule. Follow it. Just maintain your weight. Don't go to a level wherein your back, especially when you do crunches. So if you're fat, or I'm not saying you're fat, but let's say if you're overweight, and if you were to keep doing crunches or anything which is very intensive on your back, chances are you will get injured. And I've told this plenty of times to all my people that will reach out to me for questions, that what's the best way to get flat abs and how to get rid of this layer of fat. Is crunches okay? For people who are overweight and a little fat, crunches is not the way to go. Why am I talking about crunches? Because that's not the way you can actually lose weight. If you find yourself a little overweight, or if you feel that you need to lower your weight a bit, uh, crunch is not the way. Plus, you also need to understand you need to maintain your weight. So don't go overboard with all the exercises. Whatever weight you have, just maintain it, or rather, you can actually bring it down as well. Point is, do not gain weight. This is exactly what I just talked about earlier. Go easy on crunches and squats. You really don't have to push yourself. You haven't talked about your age. I know it's a wrong thing to ask to a woman, how old is she? But my profession, my job is such that I really need to ask such terrible questions. Pardon me for that. But crunches and squats, I would urge you, go easy, especially squats. Don't do heavy. When you can trigger your weak area of your back. Don't do it. Crunches, again, go easy. You really don't have to. Instead of crunches, you can probably supplement it with some other exercises, other core exercises, which I'm going to do a separate video on. Again, don't overdo. So what happens is, you talked about it, that you've been doing weight training, heavy weight training. You need to give some rest as well. Like if you've had a heavy leg session today, tomorrow you may want to give some rest. Either don't work out at all. But I don't know which category of person are you. Either you really have to work out every day, otherwise you get jittery. Or if you are those kind of people, probably you can do probably a lighter workout or a small cardio session, half an hour, 45 minutes, and but don't push yourself. The idea is, again, the moment you find yourself in a spot where you think you're overdoing it without you actually knowing about it, is a very dangerous spot, because that's the time when your back actually takes a load and gets injured. And especially when you know that it's sensitive. So why to do it? So rest. So these are some of the things, if I were you, I would do it. Again, I would keep in mind that I know my back is sensitive. I really don't have to do certain exercises. So just imagine, you don't have to push yourself to a limit where your back gives up on you. It's a very sensitive area. Take care of it, and I'm glad that you're fighting it out. You're not letting the injury affect your workouts, affect your daily chores activities. So it's a perfect combination. I think you're inspiring a lot many people. But again, my humble request to you is to don't push it. Do it till it lasts. That's about it. That's where I'm going to end. So any one of you who have any questions for me, any questions regarding health, fitness, diet, supplementation, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be happy to do a video blog for all of you to understand that in perspective. Yes, I do take some time to reply to those queries, because I have a huge backlog, as I said earlier. So bear with me on that. So till we meet again, see you.